Yeah, great. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2021 Burning Bowl Community Undivided. I am Anna Deshawn, currently serving as your board president and continue to be humbled and honored to serve in this capacity. This is our first time doing it virtual. It's the first time for so many things over the past year. So, first, thank you for being here. Thank you for holding on to us during 2020. And we are excited for what it means to be a community undivided in 2021. So, we welcome you. We host Burning Bowl every year as a way to come together to usher in the new year as a community. We do this because we know the importance of intention setting and doing it as a collective. I want to welcome you to Burning Bowl 2021. And what 2020 has taught us is that we are a community undivided through organizational changes, global pandemics, civil unrest, and attacks against our own Black queer community. One of our favorite authors, Gwendolyn Brooks, said, "We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond." So, this is Affinity's annual kickoff event. Even in the virtual world, we are going to kick this year off the same way we have for over a decade as community. And we couldn't imagine starting the new year off without Burning Bowl. I do want to let you know we are also streaming on Facebook and from the website. So please share that information. Let your friends know. Send them a text. It's all good. Tell them to join us, right? You don't want anyone to miss this opportunity to be in community because we all still very much so need it. We are stronger together than we are apart. If you are active on social media, we've got a hashtag for 2021 that we're going to kick off today, Community Undivided. Now, I know it's a little long, but I believe in you. And the more of us that write this hashtag, the more often it will pop up, and then you won't have to type it so much, right? But the hashtag is Community Undivided. That will be our theme for this year. So you will see it throughout our programming. So I hope that you do continue to use it and be that community that we seek to be. Now, lots of things are happening in the program today. I'm excited that as a team, we have brought this together. And as I prepare to hand this over to our program coordinator, Irma Brienne, I just want to say, first off, a huge, uninterrupted thank you to the board, to our volunteers, but to especially Irma. We have gone through 2020 in transition from an executive director perspective, but the board, volunteers, but Irma has been a glue that has held us together. Between virtual office hours, the marketing, the promotions, the sharing of the good news that is Affinity. Irma has done it all with our support, and we would not be doing this the way in which we're doing it if Irma wasn't here supporting and driving and loving all over Affinity. So I could not pass this to Irma without saying thank you, genuinely thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts for loving on Affinity the way that you do. So with no further ado, I see lots of virtual claps. Give it all to Irma, okay? It's all Irma's. This is Irma's situation, okay? I don't think y'all understand. So without further ado, I want to pass it to Irma and kick off Burning Bowl. Thanks so much, y'all.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna try not to cry right now. Last year was my first Burning Bowl, and this is my second one. And I was emotional then, and I probably will, get emotional again this year. But hopefully it'll come a little later on in the program and not immediately when we first start. So thank you so much, Anna. Thank you to the board, to the peer leads, to volunteers, to everyone in the community. Thank you so much. Last year was my first full year with Affinity, and yeah, it was a lot of triumphs in that year, and a lot that I've learned through being in community with you all. So first, I just want to say thank you to Imani. Thank you to Chris. I was able to have the opportunity to work with Chris Smith. So I learned a lot. I say it's like a crash course of Affinity. So I just want to say thank you. And so what I get to do right now is to highlight what took place in 2020 and all that we were able to do. So I'm going to get ready here to share my screen with you all so that we can see some of those key moments here. You just bear with me, the Zoom. So here, let's see. The technology, you all. All right, here we go. All right. So just some of the highlights. Okay. Some of the highlights from the year.
Don't y'all worry, Irma's coming back. I see myself on Facebook. I'm monitoring, and I was like, I see myself.
Okay, am I back?
You back.
Yeah,
you
so that was
welcome back.
Thank you. As we know, that has been a part of 2020 for me. My internet and my tech, I keep, y'all all like to say I'm techie, but clearly I have not yet to figure out why Zoom likes to do this to me. But thank you all so much for rocking with me this year. But yeah, let's get to doing these highlights right here. So I'm gonna share this with you all once again. Awesome. All right, so I hope we all can see this, but let's get into it. So February of this year, I was able to work with Imani and I'm with Anna and redoing the website. So we launched the new website this year, which is really exciting, really interactive, easy to read, and just really impactful and able to really transition us into this virtual world and being able to stay connected with you all. And so March of this year, we all kind of COVID and went into this new virtual space. So Living Room Chats reached its highest views since the beginning of Living Room Chats, with over 100K views in an episode. And since March, has broken that record again. So in April, Chris and I talked and we wanted to stay connected with COVID and quarantine, and we came up with virtual office hours. And I, at the beginning of it, I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to turn into, but it has just been a way to connect for education, community conversation. And by the end of this year, we've had over a reach of over 20K. And that's still growing because the videos are still up on the website and still up on Facebook. So those are still growing. And we've been able to connect with people from Puerto Rico, Mississippi, New York, Detroit, and so many different places for us to stay connected and really broaden our reach. In June of this year, we were able to raise over 50K in 1 month, which was just amazing work from the board and peer leads in our community at large. And some more highlights, just some more virtual office hours. We have over 50 plus videos available on Facebook and on the website. We've had 35 guest speakers, which is amazing. This year, we're gonna have even more. We've had conversations about respectability politics, wellness, sexual wellness, policy chats, thanks to Aisha, our board member, who comes with the policy conversation. We love it. We learning and we growing. It's just absolutely amazing. We've also taken this as an opportunity to really expand upon gender identities And this has been amazing conversation. And so I want to thank everyone that joins me on virtual office hours for their vulnerability, because we're learning and growing together in a very open way. And so to be able to share thoughts with people is just amazing. We also celebrated Affinity's 25th anniversary throughout this year. We've had a trivia to celebrate, a virtual trivia. We've had so many different events. I can just list them all, but we want to keep on going. And all of those are still available for you to watch on Facebook. All of the celebrations that we've had, you can watch on Facebook, those videos. And this year, thanks to Jackie Boyd, the Care Plan, and our Trailblazers, we had our 5th annual LGBTQ plus Care Fair that was able to reach over 600 people and attendees. It was just absolutely amazing and a beautiful event that happened this year. Being in this virtual space, we've been able to really broaden our reach. And this is just some quotes that we've gotten from virtual office hours, really staying connected, really being impactful. And like I said, we've gotten people from Puerto Rico, which is absolutely amazing. There are so many places here in the world that aren't connected, like Affinity is, to Black queer community, and to be able to broaden this reach has been absolutely beautiful. So with this, we've been able to 147% growth from our newsletter and our social media reach combined, which is absolutely beautiful. Staying connected and really being able to get information out to people during this time. And our Giving Circle, which is our group of donors who are supporting Affinity and sustaining us, we've had over a 462% growth for reoccurring donors, and that is absolutely beautiful. That just shows how many people are impacted by our mission and really believe in it. Also this year, which has been absolutely great, we've gotten 2 new board members, Ray Chardonnay and Keeba. It has just been absolutely amazing to work with these beautiful minds in such a way. They jump right in and get to doing the work. And like I said, I just couldn't imagine what this year would have been like without the people to support, but also the people that took the initiative to say, this is my moment to really step up. So I just want to say thank you to Ray and to Keeba. And if you would like to also step up in a way and take on some leadership, please reach out to Anna Deshawn, our board president, any board member, to really see how you can be an impact in our community. And if you want to be a volunteer, reach out to me. This year is going to be absolutely amazing, and I would love to work with you all. We're always in conversation, join virtual office hours, and our peer groups. It's just, yeah, let's get it started for 2021, y'all. So now is the time for us to really come in. This is, I had the pleasure last year to be able to witness Enina J. And like I said, I know I'm gonna get emotional. You all know I'm tender. I'm a cry. You know, this is one of my favorite moments. And so I would like to introduce you all to Enina J for a poetry reading.
Good afternoon, community. I want to say thank you to Irma and Anna specifically, and Anne for keeping the space going. And the few of you I pop in sometimes on office hours and say I appreciate the space still being nurtured and cultivated in that way. And I want to say congratulations before I read to Jackie Boyd, who I love. She's just warrior. You deserve everything you get, and I love you. As we watch the country coming apart at the seams, the black in our marrow liquefies, pooling in the center, connecting us all. I've been watching this place being turned inside out, and what was attempting to hide within the shadows of flesh It's the knowing. We have always only needed what was there for us to find in each other. I stand on the floor of an ocean split into two hurricanes, facing and hungry for one another. And the truth we sometimes turn from in our efforts to love everybody else, that truth being, we give our loving sometimes to those who might enjoy us at breakfast, but could also watch us murdered at lunch, post a selfie with our corpse at dinner time, have the grieving done in time, continue that deep sleep. We give our trust sometimes to those who cannot see us, who have never sought to find us, who tread the surfaces of our being like a pool in the backyard, and we pretend it is enough. When we know we are oceans of ourselves that ache to be splashed in, we ache to be swam deeply, we ache to wet everything that steps into our waters, wanting our time, wanting our care, wanting our comfort, wanting our everything, but leaving us nothing except naked and bleeding, drowning in waters we were never intended to swim alone. But we have taught ourselves to run from one another like storms. Everybody teach us to be scared of storms when we know we are only meant to be them, which means we are somewhere frightened of ourselves. We've been swimming just the surfaces of these selves. What lives below in your wet caverns? Have you taught yourself yet how to breathe beneath your waters? As we watch ourselves get raped in front of the world on Instagram, as we watch ourselves get lynched in front of the world on Facebook, as we still hear our ancestors turning in graves, their collective groaning haunting every step we take, every purchase we make, every undeserved funeral, every premature wake, they turn in their graves. Every time we turn away, every time we ignore what each other say, every hour of every day lived is black. Every time we rise to meet the sun that bakes this brown so sweet, every time we ignore the prints of the feet left by us, black. For every scream we put on youth, for every south to north commute, for every pain severed at the root that grew this black. To be a community undivided means we get right up inside it, unsettle the peace where we crash, collided, unravel the rage we wield misguided, autopsy the moments we died to hide it, even when our minds are undecided, we still belong to each other. Because I can't survive this black life without you, because I know this longing here is about you. Pushed you away in my healing, and now you love. I ain't scared to touch because now I've learned how to love you without leaving any more scars. I'm di- I'm undivided in this river I spring from. My love falls soft from the cloud I pull the string from. Even when soft, I do not demand we just be queens, hun, because we are the kind of warriors they truly make kings from. I've never seen Affinity as some salty queendom. The power and the work always painted a kingdom. Maybe we the trees they sit and watch us swing from to nurture community undivided. We must learn to move ourselves whole inside it. We must teach how to be loved and how to provide it. Why I reach for the tip of my rage to guide it. Reach to through the scars we have left blindsided. Black women built this house and we grow inside. It needs to be stroked strong in the ways we stride it. This salvation be horse, we gallop and ride it. The ancestors now be the Bible at my bedside. It is everything I've lived and trust me, I tried it. Save me in ways my black lesbian self could have died. It's like salvation without division, a more diverse notion than we envisioned, because we face damnation without some revision. Now we pour libations with more precision. These walls be tight now as we nurture the black vision, seen in the odd reflections of mirrors made in prisons. Freedom is not just some old slave's dream. Liberation can be found in what falls from tearing seams like this country with its stories that never meant what they say they mean. I'm just watching, eating popcorn, watching waves flow down this stream, knowing as we watch this country lose the spine they believe could live in a broken back. As we watch this world watching us because we are trained flipping off the tracks. As we watch ourselves be murdered, as we drown in the lack, as we turn ourselves into steel beams and Wi-Fi night takes the place of crack. As we watch our rage be swallowed, we see our traumas blending in. We need to be intentional about the music. We want our dancing bending in. We need to explore methods of resistance for all the troops they sending in. Be intentional about the kind of bodies we want these psyches ending in. Because time ticks, tick, tick. And I know that I've decided to live the rest of my days where truth and love have coincided, and my rage a bit more wiser, more accurate, but not subsided. And my love for you wide as sky to hold your every black inside it. Their hatred now more lighted. Their lack of interrogation one-sided. Their whites may be more whited the longer they live to be outside it. Privilege and principles have collided. Listen, this country may be divided, but we must not ever. Thank you, Affinity. I love you for giving birth to me and sustaining my life.
Yes, thank you. Nina J. Thank you for your empowering, supportive words that are always on point, always on point. And I'm gonna just throw it out there too that I miss womb. I'm just gonna say that. But thank you so much, because your creativity and your words always hit right at the right spot. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Ann, and I am the peer lead for 40 Plus. As the 2020 Robbie Smith Award of Excellence recipient, I first want to acknowledge Dr. Christina Smith, Robbie's daughter and a founding member of Affinity Community Services, and Phyllis Johnson, Robbie's wife and peer lead for Trailblazers, and she also is a virtual office hours panelist. So come see her and us Tuesday and Thursday, 11 to 1 o'clock. Sign up with your correct email address. And now it's my pleasure to present this year's Robbie Smith Award to someone I believe represents the meaning of the award. This year, the recipient is the first recipient who may not have had the opportunity to meet Robbie, but truly embodies the qualities of the foundation laid out 25 years ago. The Barbara Robbie Smith Award of Excellence is given to an Affinity community member who exemplifies leadership, perseverance, strength, compassion, and integrity. All of the qualities that embodies the essence of Robbie Smith. And those of you all who've met her, you know what I'm talking about. Someone who unabashedly lends themselves to the implementation of Affinity's mission, both with us and the greater community, the community at large. This year, the Robbie Smith Award will go to Jacqueline Boyd. Jacqueline Boyd is the founder. That's right, claps up, claps up, claps up, because we would be screaming, going crazy if we were in the space. So claps up. Jacqueline Boyd is the founder of the Care Plan, the country's first LGBTQ plus centered care management company. Jacqueline has partnered with Trailblazers to develop the LGBTQ Care Fair for 5 years, and in 2020 had our largest reach. She extends her expertise to Affinity and the community at large. Jackie is in fact a thought leader, an activist, and an advocate for health and wellness in the LGBTQ plus community. And we know how important right now, after 2020, after that year, we know how important that is. Jackie is the foundation for the next 25 years. Please join me in welcoming the 2021 Barbara Robbie Smith Award of Excellence recipient, Jacqueline Boyd. Claps up, y'all, claps up. On Facebook, I want to see some hearts. Jacqueline Boyd.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate that warm introduction. Thank you to Affinity. I am overwhelmed and humbled and incredibly appreciative. I spent a lot of time this week thinking about this award, about Robbie's legacy, what it means to me personally, what it means to the Affinity community, and what it means in the context of the events that we have lived through this week and this year. I am so proud to be part of the second generation of Affinity. I did not have the pleasure and honor of knowing Robbie, I have had the honor of hearing many stories of her love, of her commitment, of her desire for justice for Black women, from Phyllis, Chris, Kim, and so many others who worked with Robbie as she was nurturing and building Affinity and guiding her through the years. I have benefited from Robbie's strength and from her vision for our Black, lesbian, bisexual, and queer community. Without her, I think all of our lives would be a lot more lonely. Without Robbie and the other women like her, who founded this amazing organization, we would miss each other. We would have missed the gatherings, the laughter, the challenge, the advocacy, and all the hard work that somehow at the end of the day feels like fun. We would have missed the chance to learn and to grow, to really widen the welcome of Affinity, to name and claim our folks who are trans, gender nonconforming, non-binary, and masculine of center. We would have missed the chance to prevent the spread of HIV in our communities, to tell our stories, and to build supports for our treasured elders. Much of the work I do centers on aging and on supporting those who are the most vulnerable in our communities. In this year, we are all vulnerable. And I don't know about you, but I know I feel like I've aged many years in this one. Women like Robbie give me hope and remind me that it is going to be okay. When I saw our people marching this summer against the brutal killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and so many others, I remembered all the stories of those first women of Affinity and members of Affinity who marched in the Bud Billiken Parade, who marched through the city of Chicago, up and down funders' offices, telling the word in the streets, getting folks to come to Affinity and to hear what it was all about. When the stakes are high, I trust the leadership of Black women, and I take comfort in seeing Cori Bush march into her office in Congress, and seeing Stacey Abrams and all of the Black women who delivered Georgia so that our fragile democracy might continue. Black women have always led, this we know, and thank you, Enid and Jay, for all those words and for the rage that you bring to the table somehow in a way that gives me goosebumps and inspires me to continue. Every time I'm at Burning Bowl, your words strengthen and bolster me for the year ahead. In the spirit of Robbie's deep and generous commitment to our community, to justice and equity, and to the recognition of how powerful we all are, I would like to accept this award on behalf of all of us. We have all led this year. We have survived a pandemic. We have cared for and mourned the people that we have lost. In the spring, we fundamentally changed our lives. We stayed home. We didn't have the coping skills that we needed. We stayed safe. We have wept at the pain in our communities this summer, and in the fall, we marched again to the polls. This winter, we have remained vigilant and uplifted each other and gathered where we could. I am so proud, as I said, to be this second generation of Affinity and of Robbie's harvest. I am proud to share this award with each of you who have protected and grown this organization. I am proud of all of us who continue to survive and thrive together. And to my peers, the Annas, Aishas, Jazzes, Rays, Irmas, and so many more, we are planting the seeds for the next generation. Thank you for your tireless efforts this year to keep us connected and together. And to the founding express the depth of our gratitude for the gift of your time, talents, and treasures over these many years. You have given us a life-giving organization and an organization that has changed our lives. Thank you to Robbie 1,000 times over. We have been made better, more fulfilled, and cared for because of you. Thank you all.
Ooh, wow. Thank you so much, Jackie.
There honestly aren't enough words to tell you how grateful I am to know you. And so I think I speak on behalf of the entire board when I say that we are so happy that you accepted and we love you. And we look forward to all of the great times that we'll have in the future. Good afternoon, everybody. Irma mentioned it earlier, it's an emotional day. I'm here for all the feelings. But before we get wrapped up in our emotions, we're gonna move on to this next part of the show. My name is Aisha Davis, and I'm the Vice President of the Board of Directors for Affinity Community Services. If you've been to Burning Bowl before, you know this is usually the time that our board president, Anna Deshawn, comes up and makes an ask. Well, different person, same purpose. In previous years, we have talked about all of the reasons why Affinity asks everyone in this space to give of your time, talent, and treasure. We've shared about what and who Affinity is, and I'm just here to remind you a little bit about that. Affinity is comfort after a long day working in an office where you had to be the W-2 version of yourself. Affinity is laughter celebrating Black joy in a world that often elicits the opposite. Affinity is a steady and determined voice, as well as a patient and caring ear. Affinity is celebration and sanctuary, the turn up and the wind down. And today I'm asking you to also make her where the money resides. Now, I know for some of y'all that was enough to open the pocketbook, to open up the wallet, to start donating right now. And we thank and appreciate y'all, but now I'm talking to everyone else. I'm here to tell you why you should start also opening the chat box, looking for that donate link, and pulling out your credit cards. So like I said before, I'm the Vice President of Affinity's board, but at my first Burning Bowl, I was just a member in the audience of the Blackest, the queerest, and the warmest space that I had ever experienced up until that point. It was the family reunion and the Sunday service without the homophobia and patriarchy. It was the girls' night in and the brunch with home-cooked food, but without the bottomless mimosas. And for someone who had just moved to Chicago the fall before, it was a needed and necessary respite that I did not even recognize I wanted until I was in the midst of it. So by then I'd already met our past executive directors, Kim L. Hunt and Imani Rupert Gordon. I'd already worked with the Trailblazers and learned about Affinity's role in winning marriage equality in Illinois. I'd already heard about the impact of Affinity, but I had never sat in the impact of Affinity. That experience came with a shift in not only how I felt a part of, but rooted in community. And it's something that I like to call the affinity effect. The affinity effect is when you're surrounded by all of the beauty and power of our queer Black community, when you not only see, but also honor all of the work that queer Black women do. When you recognize it's about knowing there's someone you can call for whatever you need, and also someone who will stand right beside you against the whole world. It's how at the beginning of a year-long celebration of 25 years of excellence, we were able to pivot from game nights to group texts. We were able to honor our legacy in a strange future that we did not anticipate. And it was a year where we lost so much, but we gained much more than we had previously imagined. We embodied today's theme of community undivided because that is what we have always been. This community is not about an address or a gala. It's about creating space for Black queer liberation. It's about Black queer love. It's about Black queer joy. And while I would have loved nothing more than to have 4 wardrobe changes in person during homecoming weekend, I know that we are better served when we do the things that make sure that we are all healthy. And in a year where public health and safety were center stage, we pivoted so that those spaces were made available in the ways that we could. We were still able to listen in as Kelly Suzanne Salisbury brought guests in for brave and bold conversations. We were still able to have a care fair with today's Robbie Smith Award winner, Jackie Boyd. We brought in 2 new board members, Ray and Keeba, and with the leadership and dedication of our program coordinator, Irma Stanley, and all of our peer leads, we were able to keep meeting virtually. We did what we needed to do because that too is the affinity effect. It's the way that being held by community leads us to holding community in return. The affinity effect is the way that we have been able to make it 25 years and will be able to make it more than 25 more. The affinity effect is how we are able to be in the church basement, the day party, and City Hall at the same time. The affinity effect is how we are able to maintain our community undivided. Yes, like the power of melanin and the glow of Black girl magic, the affinity effect is something that just is. And your donations today, right now, will help ensure that the affinity effect continues to grow. Giving to Affinity is investing in the continued success of our community. So I invite you to click links in the chat and on our website to donate right now. If you don't know how, we will get that info to you. I'm asking for you to give of your treasure in a way that is meaningful to you in support of an organization that will continue to be meaningful to all of us. Anna shared this quote earlier, and it really bears repeating. Gwendolyn Brooks said, "We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond." Your donation to Affinity today reflects these principles. So thank you for sharing this space and time with us, for continuing to donate money to fund our work, for embodying the affinity effects, and for being with us in community undivided. Thank you.
I have a question too, for us old school people who like to write checks. Can we mail a check to the office? Will you all take that? Will you all take a paper check?
We certainly will.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna post the address that it can be mailed to in the chat.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Jenna. I have just popped up on the Affinity screen because I have the pleasure of being housemates with Irma. And yes, it is as amazing as you might imagine that it would be. And I'm so grateful right now to share my gifts with Affinity as an Affinity community member and someone who's a deep lover of their mission. Nothing brings me more joy than to be able to create some intention setting with you all using some radical imagination and some breath work. So before we begin, can we just shake it out? We made it. We are in 2020, we won. So if you are here in the physical, you have made it through the year 2020, which in my humble opinion is already an amazing feat. So now that we are entering 2021, we have this amazing opportunity to kind of reflect and think about what it is that we want to put out there in the world. And so I'm gonna do some intention setting using imagination and breath work. Everything that happens in this space is a love offering. So if something does not sit with you, please feel free to leave it. And if something resonates, go ahead and soak it all in. So we'll get started with folks, if you can, wherever you are, just kind of get settled in. If you're sitting on a chair, just see where you might be holding tension and go ahead and release that tension. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. We'll try that again. Deep breath in, exhale, nice and audible. Let your voice be heard. And go ahead, and if you feel comfortable enough, close your eyes. See where and feel where you might be holding tension in the body. Loosen your jaw. Roll those shoulders back. And breathe. So right now, I want you to imagine that you in your vessel right now is existing as a tree. Take your feet and ground them into the floor. Imagine your tree body sturdy, strong, unwavering. Imagine your leaves. What color are they? What colors are they? What colors do you give as a gift to the sky? And imagine your tree-like body. What color is your bark? How does your color change as the sun warms you? And imagine your roots. Imagine your roots spreading. Imagine your roots spreading. Now follow back to your tree. And find its heart center. What is your power? What is your gift? How is your heart shining for all of the roots and trees growing from your power? Is it in your vulnerability, your care, your softness, your righteous rage? What is your power right now? And take your right hand and cross it over your chest, and take your left hand and cross it over your right hand. Take a deep breath in, exhale out. Imagining your power surrounding all of you. Feeling your love, caring for yourself and for every tree that is rooted and connected to you. Take a deep breath in, audible exhale. And when you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open. We're back in our human form. When I think about community, undivided, I think about roots and trees. And I think about all of the deep connection that happens in the soil that we can't see. So I invite you today and always to think about what it is that you are cultivating under the ground, how your community is connected to what you are creating, and how important it is to always go back to your heart and your power, to remind yourself of how incredible you are. Thank you so much, Affinity, for all that you do. It is my honor and privilege to share space. I hope you have an amazing rest of your 2021 and happy burning bowl. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenna. That was absolutely amazing. I truly appreciate that. And I'm sure our community appreciates that as well. Everyone, my name is Jazz. My pronouns are she and they. I'd like to give Ray a second to say hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Ray. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Ray joined us in July of 2020, as was said earlier in the program. And I am here to, Ray and I are here to carry out one of the traditions that we have at Burning Bowl. One of these traditions of this program, and I absolutely love being a part of it, is when we get to share our aspirations for the current year. So this is, Ray is going to share the community vision board for the year. This is what we came up with in last year's Burning Bowl. And this is where the community, the board and staff, they contributed to it. And so we used it to develop programming so that we could strategically serve you all. It is important to us that you all know that as the community, our goal is to care for you. And so in previous years, people wanted programming around sex after 60. And so that's what we did. We had programming and workshops around sex for older adults. Other folks talked about managing money better. And so we brought in experts from the community to facilitate those workshops. In 2020, we heard so many great ideas, and we want you to know that we take these things very seriously.
Can you all hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. I'm super excited to be here, and I just want to take a second first to say a huge thank you to the way that I have been so warmly welcomed to the Affinity family. It hit at the perfect time, you know. COVID came, and I am an in-person kind of person. I thrive in community kind of person. And so having the Affinity family on my side during COVID, literally, I don't know if I got a yawn or what, but it's bringing me to tears. So thank you all so much. This is a family that is unmatched in my life, and I'm so grateful for y'all. And thank you to everyone that's here joining us today, and everyone that's helped maintain what Affinity has looked like during this time. A big shout out to Irma. Irma been holding it down, and I'm super grateful. I have to bring that up once more. Okay, so we were able to get some really great ideas from the registration form for some things that you all would like to see from us. We got business workshops, more intergenerational programming, mutual aid, outreach programs, cooking classes. And, you know, I was really excited by the cooking class that we had at homecoming. If you missed out, you missed an amazing dish by Donna Todd. And it was really exciting. So I would like to see more of that too. But I want to ask you all, what is it that you would like to see for yourselves, for us, for Affinity in the coming year, or in this year of 2021? We are here to service our community, and we want to make sure that we're doing things that you all are needing and asking for. And so now is the perfect time for you to drop something in the chat on Facebook or on Zoom or however you're watching, or even if you want to email it to us or text it to somebody that you know. But we want to hear from you. What is it that you want from us in 2021? It can be more cooking classes, it can be more business workshops, but we really want to hear exactly what it is you want and what we can do to bring those programs to you. Again, on the Facebook comments, on the Zoom chat, we want to add them to our vision board this year. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all once again. And I'm going to hand it over to my fellow new board member, Keeba Ross.
Oh, thank you, Ray. Thank you. That was beautiful. And again, please drop any thoughts you have for the upcoming year, because we're in 2021 and let's start a new community undivided. I want to thank everyone for your participation. I want to thank people who are on Facebook Live, in the Zoom with us, the panelists, the board, Irma. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say right now, because you are a blessing, and I really, really, really appreciate you. The board, but I probably should introduce myself for those that don't know. My name is Keeba Ross. She, her. Many of you know me from as a co-lead for the Proud Parents group, when we still are meeting for Proud Parents every second Sunday. So please join us. I'm also a new board member along with Ray, and we started in July. And I just thought 2020 was such a hard year, and I said we have to do more. And I was an honor to step into this new role. But we're gonna have to close this one out. But we cannot forget, part of Burning Bowl is writing your letters. And I actually, while I was in here, I wanted to show my letter from last year. This is the letter that Affinity email that in the midst of everything, I still got my letter back from last year. So I just wanted to show y'all that we're serious about this letter. And we really want you to write something and mail it to us. And this is the moment to talk to your future self, your goals, your aspirations for the year. You know, think positive. Let's speak those things into existence. What do we want? You know, so, and as I said, here's mine from last year. I'm gonna write another letter and I'm gonna mail it in. And I want you to do the same for us, for everyone. And yes, we are using snail mail, unless Irma has another way. But right now, snail mail, Affinity Community Services, 2850 South Wabash Avenue, Suite 108, Chicago, Illinois, 60616. The address was in the chat box earlier, but I'm sure somebody's going to drop it in again, so that way you know where to mail the letters. So please mail them in. We have received a few already, and we want more. So it's important to us. Positive affirmations to yourself. That's what we want. So please write your letters. I also want everyone to remember that, I should say, you have to place your letter in a sealed envelope with a new one and mail it back to us, and we'll mail it back in 6 months, so you know the timing. So it's in the 6 month time frame. I almost forgot about that, because this did show up in time for me, and it was really just really special at the moment when I did receive it back. I also want to remind everyone about virtual office hours. That has been our main way to connect with everyone during COVID. It's Tuesday and Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's on Facebook Live. Please visit the website to register and to participate. It's pretty awesome for those that seem to love it. And as I said, a far reach, and I'm really happy about that. And then from here, we're going to actually continue fellowship for those who are on Zoom. And then if you're on Facebook Live, we're going to say goodbye to you in probably a few minutes, but Facebook Live, we're saying thank you for your participation. Thank you for joining us. This was so beautiful and so powerful. I want to thank our volunteers. I want to thank our council members. I want to thank the board members. I want to thank Jackie Boyd. I love your work. Thank you. I want to again thank Irma, because this is a beautiful event. Our peer groups, our peer leaders, If you want to join us, the peer groups are still meeting, so please join us. All of us are still meeting and still doing work virtually, so please come out. I also want to thank Jenna and Anita J for participating. Oh, both of those things, I have no words, but other than powerful, beautiful. And I look forward to seeing more of you throughout the year for both of you, and I love you both. One is an old friend and one I'm hoping to make a new friend. And absolutely just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And we always remember Community Undivided is our hashtag this year. So remember to do that in all your social medias. Thank you.